everyone, welcome to our channel Do to Study. So here I am again with a new video from the chapter second phase of the Indian national movement. In this video we will discuss the topic leaders of assertive nationalism. The rest of the portion from this chapter is already covered in the part 1, part 2 and part 3 video. Okay, so without wasting time, let's get started. So today we will discuss the contributions of some very important leaders of assertive nationalism. Okay, that is some important assertive nationalists. We'll learn about them. Okay, you all have learned about you all have heard about the Lal Bal Pal trio, isn't it? That is Lala Lajpat Rai, Bal Gangadhar Tilak and Bipin Chandra Pal, isn't it? So we will learn about them. Now, if we talk from the board point of view, then also these questions are very important because they can come as long question. Okay, that is a question may come. Write the contributions of Bal Gangadhar Tilak, Bipin Chandra Pal, or Lala Lajpat Rai. So anything like that can come. Okay, so let's get started. First of all, Bal Gangadhar Tilak. He was born in a Maratha family. Okay, that is he was a Maharashtrian and he was born in a Maratha family. Now, Bal Gangadhar Tilak. What are his contribution? Okay, before coming to his contribution, what he is known as? He is known as the father of assertive nationalism. Okay, so remember it can come as a one marker. Bal Gangadhar Tilak is known as the father of assertive nationalism. Okay. Now, after taking his degree in law, he founded the Pune New English School. Okay. After completing his studies in law, he founded the Pune New English School, and he also joined the Deccan Education Society. He also founded the Deccan Education Society, and with the help of this society, many schools were set up in India. Now let's see what are his contributions. The first one is demand for Swaraj. Bal Gangadhar Tilak was the first nationalist, was the first leader to raise his voice for Swaraj, that is complete independence. He did not want self-government as it existed in some of the countries. Okay, he wanted complete independence. Now, he was the first leader who had a very close contact with the masses. That is, he was really connected with the masses. He knew his problems. He was a part of their grievances, their pleasure. Okay, that is, he wanted to involve masses in the national uprising. Understood? That is, in the freedom fight against the British. The next one, he preached nationalism. Yes, he tried to preach nationalism in whatever methods possible. He was the one who revived the history of India to encourage the people to install nationalism among the people, to instill nationalism among the people. Okay, for this purpose, he celebrated the Ganapati festival, and he also celebrated the Shivaji festival. Okay, Shivaji festival. So by celebrating these festivals, what was his main objective? What happened was that during these festivals, the speeches, the songs, all praised our country, all praised the brave and valor of the great warriors. And so what happened? The rich culture of India was again, that is, the people of India were again remembering the rich culture of India, and as a result, nationalism automatically instilled in them. Understood? That is, preached nationalism. Then yes, he started two newspapers, that is Maratha, which was in English, and Kesari, which was in Marathi. Through these newspapers, he expressed his ideas on nationalism, freedom, and various other topics. Okay. Now, there were two books that were written by him. first one is the Gita Rahasya and the second one is the Arctic Home of the Vedas. So these two books were written by Bal Gangadhar Tilak. Okay, so you have to remember the names of newspapers, books, all. So what were the two newspapers? Maratha and Kesari. And what were the two well-known books? The Gita Rahasya and the Arctic Home of the Vedas. Okay, understood. Now the third one is established Home Rule League. He set up a Home Rule League at Pune in 1960 to attain. Why? What was the objective? To attain self-government within the British. Okay. That is to attain self-government by constitutional means. Okay. Now, yes, it's a very important point. That is, Bal Gangadhar Tilak is known as the forerunner of Gandhiji. Now, what is the meaning of forerunner? That is the one who has came before Gandhiji. That is, here Bal Gangadhar Tilak's many ideas, many behaviors, or not behaviors, many methods, ideas were similar to Gandhiji. And this person, that is Bal Gangadhar Tilak, worked for nationalism before the arrival of Gandhiji. Okay, so therefore, Bal Gangadhar Tilak is known as the forerunner of Gandhiji. Now, in what ways his ideas, his methods were similar? See, both Mahatma Gandhi and Bal Gangadhar Tilak had close contact with the masses. That is, they interacted with the masses, they understood the problems of the masses. Okay, so it was the first one. Next, the ideas of Swadeshi, boycott, self-reliant, these all were preached by Bal Gangadhar Tilak during his time. And these similar ideas were also carried on by Mahatma Gandhi. Okay. Then next one, yes, that is the idea of Swadeshi, boycott and prohibition. Understood? Now, here, Tilak, Bal Gangadhar Tilak, he was several times he was imprisoned. He was punished for the national movement. In the same way, Mahatma Gandhi also was punished and many other leaders were also punished. Okay. Now, his selfless patriotism and his love for the country, his working with the people, all these things encouraged the people, and due to his efforts, many people came and joined the struggle of freedom. Okay. Now let's move on. The second one is Bipin Chandra Pal. So, where was he born? He was born in Sylhet. Okay, now this place in Bangladesh. He was known, Bipin Chandra Pal was known or is known as the father of revolutionary thoughts. Okay, whereas Bal Gangadhar Tilak was known as the father of assertive nationalism, and Bipin Chandra Pal is known as the father of revolutionary thought in India. Okay, now how did he start his political career? He started his political career by becoming a part or by becoming a member of Brahmo Samaj. Okay, and he visited a number of European countries and other countries, foreign countries. So while during these visits, what he noticed? He noticed the foreign struggles that are led by the people in other countries. That is their way to tackle the foreigners in their country, their way for their freedom. So he noticed the methods, ideas used by these people, and he tried to implement them. Okay, in 1886, Bipin Chandra Pal joined the Indian National Congress. Now let's see what were his contribution. First one, role as a journalist. Yes, Bipin Chandra Pal was a journalist, and let's see what he did as a journalist. First of all, he was a journalist in the Bengal Public Opinion and the Tribune and New India. Bengal Public Opinion, the Tribune and New India. So in these newspapers, he worked as a journalist. Through these newspapers, by working as a journalist, he tried his best to spread his ideas, his thoughts, and his objective or his ideas he tried to spread through this newspaper. Okay, but what happened was that the British government found his writings as seditious. That is, his writings were against the British rule. Okay, that is, these writings can alienate the people against the British. So he was warned, and furthermore, in a later period of time, he was asked to give his testimony against Aurobindo Ghosh. Okay, Aurobindo Ghosh was also a national leader. Okay, he also worked for the freedom of India, but he denied. Testimony means to give evidence or to give some proof against that particular person, especially in a court. Okay, but Bipin Chandra Pal denied. As a result of this, he was given a punishment, and that punishment was 6 years of imprisonment. Sorry, not 6 years, 6 months of imprisonment. Okay, next let's see national education. Yes, Bipin Chandra Pal was had a strong belief that if we educate the people, then it will surely help in the national struggle, that is in the freedom struggle. So he tried to educate the masses, because by educating the people we are trying to open the eyes of the people and see the true nature of the British. Okay, and also develop more political ideas, to develop political thinking for the development of our nation. Okay, now the third one is social and economic reforms. So he wanted that many social and economic reforms should be changed. For that, he worked against some of the social reforms, like he opposed the caste system. Yes, he opposed the caste system and strongly disbelieved in the caste system. That is, he appreciated interdining. He appreciated intermixing. Okay, that is, all people should come together. It was his wish. That is, there should be no lower caste or upper caste. Such distinguishing should not be there. Such differentiation should not be there. And he also advocated widow remarriage. That is, in earlier times, if a woman becomes widow, then her remarriage was not appreciable or was not possible. But Bipin Chandra Pal advocated widow remarriage, which means he supported. He said that widows should be remarried if they wish to do. Okay, then another very important point, he believed that women should be educated, because yes, women should be educated, because if we educate them, then only their position can be elevated, and if their position is elevated, then the position of the whole nation would be elevated. Okay, so it was his belief. Then he stressed the need to develop indigenous industries in the country. Indigenous industries means the local industries, or the industries that belong to India, like textile industry, cotton industry, sugar industry. Such industries should be developed more and more in the country. Okay, so these were the beliefs of Bipin Chandra Pal. And he also stressed on the use of Swadeshi goods and the boycott of foreign goods. That is, the products that are made in our country should be used, and the foreign products, foreign goods should be boycott. That is, we should not use those. Okay, and to establish equality. That is, if he wished that if we want to establish equality in society, then the rich persons should give more tax than the poor. Okay. The next one, he demanded 48 hours of work in a week and increase in the wages. That is, in a week only 48 hours should be the duration for work, and the wages that were given to the laborers should also be increased. increased. Okay, that is that also should be incremented. So this was all about Bipin Chandra Pal, and he died in the year 1932. Okay, the next leader that we are going to discuss about is Lala Lajpat Rai. Okay, Lala Lajpat Rai. He was known as the Punjab Kesari or Sher-e-Punjab. So Lala Lajpat Rai was known as Punjab Kesari or Sher-e-Punjab. He was born at Dhudike, Jagrao in Punjab. Okay. Now, he was a lawyer, and apart from that, he was a very good writer and educator, social reformer, and a strong fighter against the British. Okay. Now, his writings, his speeches were so powerful that it was enough to alienate people against the British. Lord Curzon's repressive policies, repressive acts forced Lala Lajpat Rai to open his mouth and speak against the British. Okay, now he joined Congress in 1888 and he was a member of Congress till the end of his life. Okay, he supported workers' movement and in 1920 Lala Lajpat Rai became the first president of the All India Trade Union Congress. Okay, first president of the All India Trade Union Congress. Now let's move on to the contributions of Lala Lajpat Rai. He was an educationist and a forceful writer. Yes, as I said before, his writings were very powerful, and he was an educationist too. That is, he believed in spreading education. Okay, when he was in USA, he started writing. He started writing a monthly magazine called the Young India. Now, what was the motive behind writing a monthly magazine called Young India? Through this magazine, he spread the message to every person that we Indians have the right to attain Swaraj. Okay. And he also published The Call to Young India, England's Debt to India, and The Political Future of India. These three were also his writing. What were they? The Call to Young India, England's Debt to India, and The Political Future of India. Okay. He also founded Punjabi, Vande Mataram. Vande Mataram was an Urdu daily, and People, it was an English weekly. Okay. Now he also wrote a book on national education. So from this paragraph only you can see how many writings were written by him, isn't it? So through these writings, his ideas were spread among all people, among the masses, among the Indians, among the foreigners. Okay. Now, a social reformer. Yes, he was associated with the Arya Samaj movement, and with his presence, with his role, the DAV movement or the DAV college at Lahore was expanded. That is, Lala Lajpat Rai played an important or an eminent role in expanding the DAV college at Lahore. And he also opened various orphanages, schools and hospitals. And he set up the Servants of the People Society for the welfare of the downtrodden, which means the who are very poor, and for such people, for the welfare of such people, he established the Servants of the People Society. Okay, the next one is political work outside India. Yes, he went abroad to mobilize public opinion for the freedom of India. Okay, so let's see what were his role, what work he did during this work done apart that is without staying in India. By staying outside of India, what work were done by him? He, through his writings in Young India, he preached assertive nationalism, inspired the Indian youth, and kindled the fire of patriotism in them. Okay, that is, he wrote, yes, we discussed earlier, that is while discussing this point, that is an educational and a forceful writer, we discussed that he started a magazine, that is Young India. So through these writings, he preached about nationalism, okay, patriotism. So these ideas of him were expressed through this magazine. Now, when he went to America in 1914, he joined the Gadhar Party there. Okay, that is while his visit to America in 1914, he joined the Gadhar Party there. Now, in 1923, while he was leading a procession against the Simon Commission, he came under serious lathi charge, and after this, due to this lathi charge, after a few days, he died. Okay. So, it was all about the contribution of these leaders. So, basically, you have to remember all these things. Okay. So, here we come to the end of this chapter. That is the second phase of the Indian national movement. Okay. So, till the next video, study well, keep studying, and bye-bye.